Your presentation is in 5 minutes. Your laptop crashes. Your coffee spills on your shirt. Your car won't start. Sound familiar? Murphy's Law, the belief that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, seems to hunt us at our most vulnerable moments. But here's the question, is it real? Or are we just wired to notice failure? Let's start with the origin story. Murphy's Law wasn't born from philosophy or folklore. It came from an actual person named Edward Murphy, Jr., an aerospace engineer working for the U.S. Air Force in the 1940s. He was testing rocket sled systems when an experiment failed catastrophically. Every sensor had been installed backward. In frustration, Murphy declared, if there are 2 ways to do something, and one of them results in disaster, then someone will do it that way. But here's where psychology enters the picture. Murphy's Law isn't a law of physics, it's a law of human perception. We experience something called confirmation bias. When bad things happen, we notice them. We tell the story. We remember them. But when things go right, and statistically, they usually do, we barely register it. Your alarm works every morning for 1,000 days. You don't celebrate. It fails once. You never forget it. The negativity bias compounds this effect. Human brains are hardwired by evolution to notice threats. Danger kept our ancestors alive. So our attention naturally gravitates toward what could go wrong, not what goes right. A psychologist named Roy Baumeister calls this the bad is stronger than good principle. A single negative event can outweigh multiple positive ones in how we remember and interpret reality. Now let's talk about probability. Say you're boarding a flight. You think, what if the plane crashes? Statistically, you're far safer in the air than driving to the airport. But one plane crash makes international headlines. Thousands of car accidents don't. This creates an illusion of danger, and an illusion that bad things happen more often than they do. We're pattern-matching machines making sense of incomplete information. There's also the concept of selective attention. On the day you're running late, every red light turns red. But you don't notice the day you catch every green light. This isn't chance, it's focus. When you're anxious or hurried, your brain narrows its attention. You become hyper-aware of obstacles and obstacles alone. The world hasn't changed. Your perception has. Consider this, Murphy's Law thrives in high-stakes situations. A casual dinner with friends? Things usually go fine. Your wedding day? Suddenly Murphy is running the show. The difference isn't probability, it's pressure. Stress hijacks our executive function. We think less clearly. We're more prone to mistakes. And when things do go wrong, as they statistically will in complex situations, we blame Murphy instead of acknowledging our own compromised state. The illusion persists because sometimes, catastrophic failures really are more likely than we think. If you have a complex system with many moving parts, a wedding, a rocket launch, a surgical procedure, the probability that something goes wrong genuinely increases. This is the true Murphy's Law, complexity breeds failure. It's not magic. It's mathematics. The more variables, the more opportunities for things to misalign. But here's where it gets psychological again. When we understand this principle, we often respond with what psychologists call defensive pessimism. We prepare for the worst. We catastrophize. Ironically, this mental state can make us more likely to fail, not because Murphy's Law is real, but because anxiety impairs performance. A violinist who obsesses over hitting a wrong note becomes more likely to hit one. Expectation shapes reality through behavior. So what's the antidote? Understanding that Murphy's Law is primarily psychological, not cosmic. Research in cognitive psychology shows that when we acknowledge our biases, we can partially overcome them. Prepare for legitimate risks, not out of paranoia, but through rational planning. And crucially, notice your wins. Celebrate the flights that land. Acknowledge the presentations that go well. Your brain needs this data to recalibrate. Finally, consider this reframing. Murphy's Law isn't telling you the universe is against you. It's telling you that you're human, and humans are designed to survive by noticing what goes wrong. Your bias towards seeing failure kept your ancestors alive. In a modern world where most things actually go right, that same wiring feels like a curse. But it's a feature, not a bug. The key is knowing it's there. Murphy's Law is real, but not in the way you think. It's not the universe conspiring against you. It's your mind, perfectly evolved to remember danger, magnifying unlikely disasters and forgetting routine successes. Knowing this? That's your superpower. You can't change your brain's wiring, but you can work with it. Prepare for real risks. Notice what goes right. And remember, most things actually go fine. You just don't hear about them.